Giannis Antetokounmpo has NBA fans losing their minds after reports connected him to a blockbuster move to the New York Knicks, with the Bucks officially opening trade discussions and Jalen Brunson already waiting in New York. Many believe the NBA could be witnessing the start of one of the biggest trades in league history. Let me break it down. On May 11, 2026, ESPN's Shams Charania reported that the Milwaukee Bucks are open for business on trade calls and offers for two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, entering the NBA Draft Combine and over 6 weeks away from the draft. That report landed like a grenade across the league. Not because the idea of Giannis being traded was new. It had been floating around for over a year, but because this time, Milwaukee was not pretending otherwise. Bucks co-owner Jimmy Haslam said the quiet part out loud. Sometime over the next 6 or 7 weeks we'll decide whether Giannis is going to sign a max contract and stay with us, or he's going to play somewhere else, he told reporters during a press conference, introducing Taylor Jenkins as the team's new head coach. His co-owner Wes Edens had been even more direct back in March. One of two things will happen. Either he will be extended or he'll be traded. This is no longer speculation. The Bucks have set a deadline, the NBA draft on June 23 and 24, and the clock is ticking. There is expected to be a robust market for Antetokounmpo's services, and ownership and front office officials expect to maintain their trade deadline asking price of a young blue-chip talent and/or a surplus of draft picks. Milwaukee is not giving Giannis away, but they are acknowledging what has become impossible to deny. The partnership between the franchise and its greatest player is fractured. The Bucks went 32-50 this season. They ended the year outside the playoffs and play-in tournament. Giannis played a career-low 36 games, battling groin, calf, and knee injuries. His last game was on March 15th. But here's the thing. He told reporters in early April that he was healthy and being held out by the team. "I'm available to play, but I'm not in the game," Antetokounmpo told reporters on April 3. And then he went further. "For somebody to come and tell me to not play or not to compete, it's like a slap in my face. So I don't know where the relationship goes from there." That's a man who is checked out. A man who is telling you, in plain language, that the trust between him and his organization is gone. And that fractured relationship is exactly what led to Antetokounmpo sparking a league investigation into his own organization for shutting him down late in the season with a knee injury. The Bucks said they were protecting him. Giannis said they were benching him. The NBA is still looking into it. Milwaukee fired Doc Rivers after the season. They hired Taylor Jenkins on a lucrative 6-year contract. Jenkins once served as an assistant under Mike Budenholzer in Milwaukee, so there's familiarity there with Giannis. But familiarity is not enough to undo what has been a year-long unraveling. The Bucks' trade saga with Antetokounmpo began a year ago. Last May, Antetokounmpo expressed an openness to finding his best fit outside of Milwaukee. That openness turned into something more concrete over the summer, and it all pointed in one direction: New York. The most important fact in this entire saga is one that has been reported, confirmed, and reconfirmed by every major NBA insider. Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to be a New York Knick. This isn't hearsay. This isn't fan fiction cooked up by overzealous New Yorkers desperate for a superstar. The man himself has made it known, privately and, eventually, publicly. It started last summer. Conversations between Antetokounmpo's side and the Bucks continued to escalate, including last summer when Antetokounmpo informed all parties that he had a desire to play for the New York Knicks. This wasn't some vague wish or a passing mention. Shams Charania detailed the specifics in an October 2025 story. Several teams were discussed internally, but one emerged as the only place Antetokounmpo wanted to play outside of Milwaukee: the New York Knicks. Multiple sources with direct knowledge of the situation told ESPN. Following that revelation, the Bucks and Knicks engaged in conversations. For a window of time in August, league sources said, an exclusive negotiating period that no other team was part of. The two front offices were in the room together, trying to put something together, but it fell apart. The Bucks insisted to the Knicks that they preferred not to move Antetokounmpo, but those in Milwaukee believe New York did not make a strong enough offer to continue even discussing a trade. SNY's Ian Begley later provided additional context. He confirmed that Giannis was open to only one destination outside Milwaukee over the summer, and that was the Knicks. But he also laid out the core problem from New York's side. The Knicks put forward what they believed was a legitimate package: meaningful players, and whatever draft capital they could gather after the Bridges and Towns acquisitions. From New York's perspective, they made a serious offer, but Milwaukee wasn't genuinely interested in moving their franchise cornerstone. From Milwaukee's vantage point, the Knicks simply didn't offer enough. Fox 32, Chicago's Lou Canellis, added a sharper detail. Antetokounmpo had identified New York as his first choice if he were to leave Milwaukee, but the Knicks reportedly wouldn't offer more than just Karl Anthony Towns. Milwaukee wanted more. The talks stalled. Then came the season, and the dysfunction that everyone worried about. It materialized spectacularly. It all culminated in a season of dysfunction around the Bucks. Antetokounmpo made it clear to the franchise that he was ready to be traded. The team discussed deals at the deadline, and a fractured relationship between the two sides led to Antetokounmpo sparking a league investigation into his own organization. Giannis himself confirmed the trade talks in a candid interview with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. There were a lot of rumors, a lot of uncertainty. From both sides, he admitted, he kept his family in Greece during this stretch, a decision that spoke volumes about how unstable his life had become, both professionally and personally. NBA insider Jake Fisher reported that multiple sources insisted. Giannis told a Bucks teammate he believed a trade to the Knicks was close. Last summer, close, but not close enough. And now, with the Bucks officially fielding calls, Giannis holds the ultimate trump card. He is essentially on an expiring contract, with next season guaranteed in his deal before a player option in 2027, providing him leverage to navigate to a specific team. No team is giving up a massive haul for a player who might walk after 1 year. Rival executives believe that Antetokounmpo's desired teams will be the largest factor in his trade destination. As one source with direct involvement told ESPN, the conversation will be simple. Where does Giannis want to be moved, and where will he sign long-term? If the answer to that question is still New York, then every other team in this race has a problem. Here's where the story gets complicated. Because while Giannis Antetokounmpo has been telling anyone who will listen that he wants to play for the New York Knicks, the New York Knicks have been busy demonstrating that they might not need him. The Knicks are in the middle of a devastating 2026 playoff run. They have won 7 straight playoff games, including a second-round sweep of the Philadelphia 76ers, with Bridges anchoring a suffocating defense. They dispatched the Atlanta Hawks in 6 games after falling behind 2-1, then demolished the Sixers in 4 straight, including closeout victories by staggering margins. They have won by 51 points and 30 points in their closeout games. The numbers are borderline absurd. Through 7 playoff games, the Knicks have outscored their opponents by an average of 20.6 points per game, which would be the best point differential in playoff history. And at the center of this destruction sits Jalen Brunson, who has been performing at a level that has commentators making historical comparisons. Brunson is averaging 27.4 points per game in the 2026 playoffs. He dropped 35 points in Game 1 against the Sixers on 12 for 18 shooting. He poured in 33 points and 9 assists in Game 3 to put Philadelphia in a 3-0 hole. And when the sweep was there for the taking in Game 4, he scored 22 points, and the Knicks won 144-114. Karl Anthony Towns has been equally phenomenal alongside him. Towns would join Hakeem Olajuwon as the only players to record 10+ rebounds per game, at least 1 steal and 1 block per game, and post a 65% or higher TS percent in a single playoff run of at least 8 games played. He's been second in assists in the entire 2026 playoffs, behind only Cade Cunningham. Brunson and Towns have been 2 of the most productive players so far in the 2026 playoffs, outscoring teams by 14.1 points per 100 possessions when they share the floor. Mikal Bridges, who was previously mentioned as a potential trade chip in Giannis discussions, has instead become one of the biggest reasons the Knicks suddenly look capable of winning the Eastern Conference without making another superstar swing. In Game 3 against the Sixers, Bridges added 23 points on 8 for 14 shooting. The way Brunson is being used has fundamentally changed, too. His on-ball percentage has dropped each playoff year, from 50.1% in 2024 to 48.5% in 2025 to 43.7% in 2026. The Knicks are running more through Towns as a playmaker, running Brunson off screens, and diversifying their attack. He will be the greatest Knick of all time. With Towns playing at an MVP caliber level and Bridges stepping up as a two-way force, Knicks president Leon Rose has constructed an incredibly complementary roster. That's at times moving as one and dominating opponents on the big stage. There's zero reason to break things up for Antetokounmpo, who'd disrupt the puzzle-like fit, especially with this group on the doorstep of the sport's ultimate prize. Even if the Knicks decided they wanted Giannis, say their playoff run ends prematurely and the front office pivots toward a blockbuster, the logistics of getting it done are monumentally tricky. This isn't just about wanting a player. It's about salary matching, draft capital, and beating out a half-dozen other franchises who are equally desperate. The centerpiece of any Knicks trade package would almost certainly be Karl Anthony Towns, as ESPN's Vincent Goodwill detailed. With 2 years remaining on his contract, $57.7 million in 2026-27s, with a $61 million player option for 2027 as 28. Towns would be the franchise's biggest trade chip, salary-wise, if the Knicks chose to chase a superstar such as Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo. But here's the bitter irony. Towns is playing so well that trading him might be the wrong move entirely. NBA insider Brandon "Scoop" B. Robinson addressed the paradox directly. New York becomes complicated specifically because you're seeing how Karl Anthony Towns is playing. He added that Towns' current run could go one of two ways. That could either be a showcase to trade, or we ain't trading him because he's playing so well. Beyond the Towns question, the Knicks do not possess overwhelming draft capital to easily outbid the field for Antetokounmpo. New York's draft arsenal is relatively limited compared to other Giannis suitors. They owe the Brooklyn Nets unprotected first-round picks in 2027, 2029, and 2031, as part of the blockbuster trade that brought Bridges to Madison Square Garden. Their number 24 pick this June can't be traded because of the Stepien rule. The Knicks' strongest trade appeal could center more on proven win-now players, such as Bridges, Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, and younger rotation pieces, rather than draft volume. The most realistic package that has been floated involves Towns, Miles McBride, Andre Jackson Jr., and a haul of first-round picks, 2026 via Washington, top 8 protected, 2028, 2030, and 2032. That's a substantial offer, but Milwaukee reportedly liked the Miami Heat's offer during the trade deadline. Tyler Herro and Kel'el Ware both present more potential for the Bucks to win games and develop talents with minimal draft picks of their own. And the competition extends far beyond Miami. Postseason teams such as the Minnesota Timberwolves, Cleveland Cavaliers, Boston Celtics, Knicks, and Los Angeles Lakers pursued Antetokounmpo at the February deadline. The Celtics are now an intriguing suitor after blowing a 3-1 lead to the 76ers in the first round, with comments by Jalen Brown about how much he enjoyed being the unquestioned go-to player, setting off antennas across New England about a potential breakup. Could Boston use Brown as the centerpiece of a deal for Giannis? The Golden State Warriors, though weakened, could sneak into the trade Milwaukee ultimately makes, perhaps in a 3-team deal that routes Towns to the Bay Area while Giannis heads to New York. On predictive markets, the Boston Celtics surged up the odds to take the lead with a 26% chance to land Antetokounmpo, with the Knicks listed in second at a 21% chance. But crucially, the Bucks keeping Antetokounmpo still leads the odds at 30%. The bottom line is this: the Knicks only get Giannis if Antetokounmpo forces his way there and blocks better trades for Milwaukee. His leverage, the expiring contract, the player option, the ability to signal where he'll sign long-term, is what tips the scale. Without it, New York simply cannot match the assets that other teams bring to the table. Part 5. The verdict. Is Giannis actually becoming a Knick? So here we are. The title of this video says Giannis Antetokounmpo is officially a New York Knick, joining Jalen Brunson. Let's talk about what officially actually means right now. The reality is, Giannis is not a Knick. Not yet. No trade has been executed. No papers have been signed. What has happened is that every single piece of this puzzle has moved closer to alignment than at any point in the last 13 months. The Bucks have publicly acknowledged they are fielding offers. The co-owners have set a deadline. The franchise player has spent an entire season making it clear he wants out, and his preferred destination has been publicly documented repeatedly as New York. And this is the part that makes this story so fascinating. The most relevant part of the Giannis trade saga for the Knicks now is where he might end up, rather than what he might cost. The Knicks are in the middle of a historically dominant playoff run. They are the Eastern Conference favorites. They just swept the 76ers. Jalen Brunson is playing like the best point guard in the East. Karl Anthony Towns is having a career playoff performance. Mikal Bridges has stepped up as exactly the kind of two-way player New York paid a premium for. As recently as the end of the regular season, this news would have generated massive Knicks buzz and plenty of New York-centric theoreticals. But now, in the middle of a dominant playoff run that includes a 7-game win streak and a sweep of the 76ers, Antetokounmpo's potential move carries an entirely different meaning. If the Knicks win the championship, trading Towns for Giannis makes zero sense. You don't dismantle a title-winning core. If they fall short, say, in the Eastern Conference Finals or even in the finals themselves, then the calculus shifts entirely. James Dolan indicated the team is in championship or bust mode. Substantive changes will be made if New York's season ends before the finals. And Giannis Antetokounmpo is the kind of change that redefines everything. There's also a defensive angle to this that the Knicks cannot ignore. Even if they decide not to trade for Giannis, New York dropping out of the sweepstakes opens up a new can of worms. The Big Apple was the Stars' preferred market, giving the Knicks the inside track if they ever got serious about landing him. Now he'll be forced to set his sights on fallback options, which could lead to negative consequences. What if Giannis ends up on the Detroit Pistons next to Cade Cunningham? What if the Celtics pair him with Jason Tatum? Either scenario would be a major concern for New York, with a rival adding that kind of talent. A rival team adding a generational player doesn't just make them better. His presence will also attract veterans to his new destination, who'd be willing to take much less for a chance at a ring. The truth is, this story has no ending yet. The Bucks have 6 weeks to resolve Giannis's future. The Knicks have a championship to chase in that same window. So much of their Giannis interest is tethered to how the season ends. If they make it to the finals, they'll be playing until at least June 10th, with the possibility of remaining active through June 19th. If they wind up losing in the championship round, they'll have minimal time to decide whether they should pursue Giannis and then actually go after him. Is Giannis Antetokounmpo officially a New York Knick? No, not as of today. But is he closer to being one than he's ever been? Without question. The Bucks are selling. Giannis wants out. His preferred destination is New York. He has a relationship with the market, a desire to deliver the franchise its first NBA title in almost half a century, and the contractual leverage to steer where he lands. The only thing standing between Giannis and a Knicks uniform is whether New York decides it needs him, or whether it proves on the court that it doesn't. Either way, the next 6 weeks will define the NBA for years to come.